Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benefactor at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Kate, Felicia, Nick, Corinne, and Rodrigo with their adventures in Illyria. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points in the game. Check out the options in the chat bar. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link below and joining our community, or support what we do by becoming a subscriber. So let's rejoin the players as they play episode 95 of the Benefactor. And welcome back, and hello to our players.
Hi.
Hi. Bye. Be back in a second.
Yep. So, we try to do the proper role-playing experience here at Chaotic Neutral. So,
yeah, just like it is at the table, there's always that one fucker that always is like, "Oh, I haven't eaten. I'm just gonna go sort it out. I'll be back in 5. You guys just start without me."
Yeah, just as the DM's about to do the intro and set the scene, get the narratives going, and
yeah,
6 is the first time you have seen the intro. So there's good and there's bad about the intro. The good is that we feature a lot of Felicia's amazing art. The downside is, and I nearly got crucified for this, I did that with Google Slides and OBS. Apparently the use of Google Slides for animation is a sin. So
we're still using it
because we haven't been able to do better.
If you want to make a new intro, you're very welcome to.
Well, I'm going to get, is it Blender, the animation program?
Yeah, Blender is the one I've been using. It is a all-arounder, so I've been using it for photo editing, which has turned out pretty decent.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of YouTube
editing, but
tutorials and stuff.
I'll have to mess around with the 3D once I manage to buy a graphics card, because, oh boy.
Yeah, well, now I have a shiny new computer. I can have things like Lightworks and Blender on it. So, that's why we're putting a bit of love and polish into the next campaign that's going to happen on here.
But
no.
RTX.
I don't care.
Though the new Radeon one is supposed to be like super good, which might sway me a little bit depending on the price point, because if it's more expensive than one of the new RTX cards, then I'm not into it. But if it's cheaper, then I might be swayed, especially with the new technology that's gonna be integrated to make it work better with their processors.
And Corinne wants you to buy a cat.
And Corinne wants me to buy a cat.
A cat is going to be so much more useful than this crap.
Not unless that cat can draw really well. Anyway, so.
I mean, mine's asleep on the sofa at the moment, like properly sprawled out.
But is he drawing really well, is the question.
No, he's much more practicing the arts of destruction than he is creation.
I think most cats are more destruction than creation.
He's a true entropy wizard, as things get far more chaotic around him than they do ordered.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that they are creating a mess, so they are creators of some kind.
You have not met my cat.
No, I haven't.
That's the illusion of entropy. You're not creating anything. The more it goes to chaos.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is there's a reason they made him pretty, because they didn't make him smart.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the same. I love it. This is the same cat that, despite living here for 6 years, still can't figure out how the cat flap works, and has to put his cat paws on either side of the cat flap, push them forward until they lift the flap up a little bit, and then tries to get his head through a gap yay big, rather than doing what he does when he comes inside when he's being chased by one of the other cats, which is just hit it at speed and he comes straight through.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
And it's really funny because what you can do is you can catch him at times where like he's trying to do his little wiggle, slow wiggle outside, and if you boop him on the butt quick enough, he goes and you watch him shoot up the garden. It's really funny.
Yeah, one of my friends, her cat, as a small kitten, she never really figured out that the birds were faster than she was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's
and the headbutting a tree doesn't really work when you want to catch a bird.
Yeah. I thought Trouble was too slow to catch birds until we found him with a pigeon. Or what was left of a pigeon.
That's impressive. Like a pigeon that's all half the size of him.
I mean, the pigeon was almost the same size as him. Trouble is not a big cat.
My cat that lives with my daughter now was the runt of the litter, but she's got she's got some wire wrong in her head because she thinks she's an actual panther. And so
she's just a very good hunter.
No, she's not a very good hunter. She's suicidal and lucky. So,
Yeah.
I've literally
Also
had
met
to
that
peel her
cat
off a
before.
confused dog's face before, where the dog is easily 6 times larger than her, and the only reason she's not a smear on the floor is the dog can't figure out what's going on. Right? And she's there, she's hissing, she's scratching downstairs. This dog's whimpering, going, "What's going on?
Why do you hate me?
The dog
Well,
knows two
I
things.
can
They
tell
can't
you the
see, and a cat was involved at some point in the process. That's all that they know. So
Sounds like my
having
dog
to
Moose.
peel her off.
Moose is
but
a
she-
great name for a dog, by the way.
Yes.
She goes after foxes. She chases foxes down the garden. Again, a third of their size. The fox ever figures out that the thing following it isn't some sort of undead banshee from hell, she'll just turn around and snap her in half with one bite.
I mean,
The last thing, she jumps at red kites and catches a ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of cats, from domestic to the one that we simply can't control no matter how much we request tact.
Yes, which Six Space so kindly drew.
Yes, if you
Monday.
could link it in the chat, Corinne. So thank you very much for that, Six. I was astounded by the level of quality in that short amount of time. And
I mean,
you captured her cantankerous, mischievous,
I shall
one
cause problems on
nature.
purpose.
Very easily.
I shall push this thing off the table. You cannot stop me.
We were frothing to
There's
to
no
Kate
for a
beforehand.
rogue. There is no attempt there at any social guile whatsoever.
Yeah, she doesn't need to attempt. She gets a natural fucking 10 on anything. But the yeah, we were saying to Kate before the stream started about the art that you did. Kate's in a bunch of extra role plays with Wild RP and Encounter and a bunch of others. You haven't done anything with Table Story yet, have you?
Oh, that's a dream. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Although I have to say, didn't like their Lancer.
I haven't seen Lancer, so I don't know. Watch PB's stuff.
PB was one of the players, but I was listening to the podcast of it, and I must admit, it's not that they did it badly, because I don't think they can do anything badly, but they just, the spirit was wrong for me. Just for me. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the tarot card collection 6. Anyway, let's get back
The
in.
tarot card collection was such a pain because, like, the first picture was just me experimenting with something new, and
then you
I
were
made
like, "I'm
sorry
We guilted her into doing lots of them.
No, I didn't. It wasn't me. She
No,
said
I
it.
guilted her. I absolutely guilted her. Yeah, but we gave out cards, little miniature tarot cards, at Dragon Meet
As business
2019
cards.
as our business cards with the details on the back, and people lapped them up. I think they like the cards better than us. So, anyway,
it was
never mind
free
that. I can
art.
wallow in self-pity on my own time.
Say what you want. You gave away free art.
Yeah, true. Anyway, yeah, her art is this channel here. Anyway, let's get into it. So, you guys have had some interesting things recently, to say the least. So, you've just recently come back from Atalzaran, Glory's home, after going to the naming ceremony of Curiosity Tezcacotl, as he is now and shall ever be known. During that time, you met some powerful people that wouldn't necessarily pass muster in the rest of Illyria. One of them was a hag, a reformed hag, if you will. Married a human, loved him dearly, and was present in Atalzaran because, as long as you're not willing to break their rules, Eclipse, they'll pretty much accept you.
Oh, I'm so sorry I spoke up against slavery. I'm the bad guy.
Yes, you are.
The Lady Des Moines went to Farewell Barebones and offered him a vision, being that she, out of the 3 of her coven, she's the last remaining, she was the seer. And she allowed him to visit or get close to his family who were screaming out in the void. Farewell tried something. cutting his hand with the knife known as Veilbreaker, and was transported with his two stowaways, Eclipse of the Moon and Glory herself. Eclipse of the Moon and Cora herself, to the Black Sands, a metaplane that I invented about a decade or so ago, where time is represented by sand that moves and sand that doesn't, and the present being a sandstorm, where the sand is kicked up in the air and fixes itself to the floor in the past, ever to remain the past.
Until someone shifts it.
When you guys appeared, you appeared in the sandstorm itself. And by using a few good role-playing decisions in what was completely chaotic and completely without any form of obvious prompt, you managed to get the Pales, the denizens of this metaplane, the caretakers, if you will, to take you to a place in the fixed sands, the dun, as they refer to it, the past. And they pointed out that some of the sand still moves. It's malleable. Farewell asked to be taken to a particular place. The night when his family was killed, the caravan burned by a creature wreathed in shadow, according to his memories, surrounded by strange, powerful, twisted minions. As he jumped into the past, as a viewer, he took Cora and Eclipse with him. During that time, he was able to witness something that he wasn't able to witness before. The farewell of that time he knows was in the village, so he stayed with the caravan to see what fate, knowing that it was going to be grisly and horrifying, befell his family. Two things happened whilst he was observing the past. The first was that he managed to save somebody very dear to himself. Somehow, even though he was only perceiving the past, he was able to reach out and use his divine magic, reaching back through time to stabilize, well, someone special to him. We'll find out the rest in the story. As the time that Farewell recalled of his younger self running up to the caravan and the creature, this large, gaunt, lich-like entity, undead skin hugging and mostly skeletal frame. As Farewell passed Farewell, ran across the field and shouted no. Two things were observed. First of all, when Farewell, young Farewell, screamed no, the large creature was hit by some sort of pressure wave, snatched what they clearly came for, a small box, and disappeared. Farewell, present, looked at Farewell past and saw that as his past self was shouting no, stood behind, her hand outstretched, with a certain amount of effort on her face, was the titular character for this campaign, the Benefactor, Renata Green. Returning to the present through many means, and then punctuated by kidnapping a red dragon, because, you know, that kind of thing happens. Farewell, on his return to Ostergald, started a conversation with Renata Green. Renata pointed out to him, and thankfully he was not that surprised, that she has no idea what he's talking about. Such is the nature of time, as only understood by Renata Green, the last chronomancer in Illyria. We're currently in that study. Fires crackling, tea and so forth is being passed around. And before we go off for an adventure that's been trailblazed by our feline friend
Mausoleum.
for the mausoleum because she misspelled mausoleum.
It's a mausoleum where the cats bring their gifts.
Yes.
I'm not making that canon no matter how many times you say it.
Thing is, it's every other language it's written mausoleum except in Tabaxi, where it is actually written mausoleum because they can't figure out why on earth no one would call it everything, because you leave the precious things there, don't you?
Yeah, you leave the things like nice. We're bringing tuck there.
I was so tempted to write in a Tabaxi Skaven war in this thing. Anyway, so but before that, you guys have had 2 weeks, thanks to Halloween. You've had 2 weeks to mull and plan on what you want to ask this character to finish off your business here. So,
is
the
that where we
fire
left
crackles in this
Truly,
opulent.
most certainly. That we have done.
Yeah.
Fire crackles in the opulent study of Renata Green. You know that the books on the shelves are rare arcane tomes, but nothing compared to Baliana's vault, which Cora managed to infiltrate. A mirror that's just in front of Renata's desk. Renata seems calm, cooperative, unsurprised, but in a way that only someone who is as long-lived as her can be. She knows that from now on, the relationship between you and her has changed indefinitely. Everything's out in the open. And now you're no longer part of the world that she has to enact machination upon. If anything, you've been sucked onto her side of the line. She sits there drinking a cup of what I'm sure is this world's equivalent of Earl Grey tea, waiting for more questions to surface from you. Players, what are you going to do?
So, if you haven't done that yet, does that mean... Okay, time is confusing, so so that means you have to do it now at some point, right? Because we saw it.
We don't know. Because somebody didn't want to wait. And somebody decided that it would be a rather good idea just to blurt that part all out. So now we have no idea whether or not she was always divine to do it, or now is obligated to do it, or if chooses not to do it, completes a temporal paradox which destroys all life as we know it.
In all fairness, it would probably instead break the New Order, and Orcus would run rampant across Illyria. So it wouldn't exactly destroy everything. The tapestry wouldn't completely disappear, but chances are most of you
paved the way for it. At the very
chances
least.
are most of you would never be born because your parents would have been killed by Orcus. But
more tea, please.
she pours you the tea with a calmness that's as unnerving as the thing she just said, and she says, I mean, to a certain extent, so there's a number of different theories, and the theories don't really end up translating exactly into practice. People have left ragged elements in the time stream before, and sometimes some strange things have resulted as part of it, but I can only presume, being that I was drawn to you through particular means, divination means, that the fact that this happened at a point that was so important to you, Farewell, that at some point you'll tell me to go there. I'm just going to wait until that happens.
Oh, joy, because I don't have enough responsibility.
Like now? Why don't you go and do it now so it's done?
Because it's not the right moment.
And also, I don't know what I did. I mean,
you did this with your hand and things happened.
Yes,
I do that when I cast every spell.
Exactly.
Clips and different hand movements for different spells. The somatic components is different.
There's ways around that. Most of the spells that I do, I use an outstretched hand. It means that the person that I'm dueling doesn't know what I'm casting.
Yeah. And anyway, we don't know if this is the right moment. This could be too soon, which opens it up to interference. Time is funny like that, you know. It's a weird combination of infinitely flexible and rigid to the point of destruction, and it requires finesse.
Since when were you an expert in time?
Delicate hand. Oh, everyone who's had a longer stint
Since
in
we
library
started working
should
with
know
her,
about
actually.
it.
Actually, there's an awful lot of what we learn to do, as Glory just said, that is very particular about not messing with certain things. Why do you think that, like, you know, they label you when you start being able to mess around with people's memories? It's not something that they genuinely approve of you doing, because that fundamentally not just alters people, but depending on where you do it and what you do it to, could fundamentally alter the entire plane of fabric of a point of existence. The Feywild gets very upset like that.
The torture of Eridamus used to do something like that, would erase key memories from somebody's mind, changing them completely as a person, basically robbing them of their own identity. Scholars reference it for nature versus nurture, but it's all the same. Let's just say it's a fairly simple spell to enter somebody's memories. All it requires is a little bit of extra push after that. I've always not liked the practice. But yes, what you're talking about there, farewell.
Controversial, even.
It is very controversial. I mean, getting rid of the last 5 seconds because you didn't want somebody to see you naked or something, that's acceptable. That's not exactly a formation part of the character, but erasing key points of their childhood, like the trimming of bonsai plant, is not. Well, that I can't think of many greater crimes.
That's like a tiny bit hypocritical of you, though.
Oh, now you're on our side.
I never said it was right. I'm just pointing out flaws in logic, and I do it to you guys all the time.
Take out my book, get my pen, turn a few pages, start very grumpily like scrolling in, and like once you can't read it,
Eclipse doesn't have a page. She has a chapter. Admit it.
Well, no, this one looks more like a list, and he's like adding something to the end of it, and then crossing 3 or 4 things off it, and then it flips to like the third of the book that is Eclipse, and there's just a few notes made. Thing is closed. Goes back into its
You're
clip.
starting to run out of pages. We might need to buy you a new one.
What
grade of paper do you want for your birthday?
And the difference, yes, Renata. Then ignoring.
The difference is, Eclipse, I do what I do, much like a forester will cut down trees to save the rest of a forest from a forest fire. At no point have I needed to fundamentally change who somebody is and rob them of their identity. Kill people? Yeah, many times. Regretful every time, but sometimes you just have to. You've done enough of that yourselves. Just because they were attacking you, when really, did you have the power to reform them? Probably. No, it's to your answer.
Oh, to give her ideas. She can already enter people's minds. I don't want her thinking she can change them from the inside.
I doubt that she has that proficiency just yet.
That doesn't stop her the fact that crawling around inside there. You know what she's like.
She's a cat.
Well, I was going to say she's Eclipse, but yeah, we'll go with that. I suppose now that we have had any caution thrown firmly to the wind, and any sparring you and I would have done trying to gain information out of one another completely to the side, we're now left with for once, a binary decision.
Being?
I need to learn and understand the tremendous weight of the responsibility that's been put on top of me and given to me. And you are the only person that can teach me. So the question is, will you teach me?
I'll remind you that the gods decreed that no mortal shall ever know how to manipulate time.
And
Well,
yet,
that's an easy decision, then. We just have to figure out how to make Farewell immortal.
I don't think that's how it works, Glory. I don't think
There's
that's
a
fine.
smile that creeps across Renata's face. She looks at Glory. Glory, give me a insight check.
I'm starting out strong.
go on, big roll of the day. First roll, come on.
Let's be nice. Okay. It bounced off the 1 and landed on a 19.
We'll take it.
So-
We'll take it.
Insight is +5.
So
That is a 24. I can do things.
You spot a nerve in her left eye twitch, and it almost looks for a split second like she was about to wink.
See, I know this.
My passive
Consent,
what's
please.
the one? The Farrell catches on his passive insight.
Which you mean is 20?
No, he wouldn't be able to, because the thing to notice was so very, very small. Only the person that she was looking at even stood a chance of catching it.
It's not a be all and end all. You're passive, yeah.
Yeah.
She turns to you, Farewell, and says, "If you wish to be taught, being that I have a feeling that I'm going to need you, I will teach you. But I must tell you this, the gods will be angry, and yet by doing this, you'll have more in common with your particular patron than most."
And that's why I have a feeling she won't be angry.
Yeah,
Not to
'cause-
sound too egotistical, but whether or not Pelor or Lathander or anybody else is upset with me is not my concern.
As long as your own god is not mad at you, then everything is good, is it not?
I remind you that she's the goddess of fate.
Yeah.
More than
A
once she
point that
has.
is no longer wasted on me, I assure you.
Because gods, I'm pretty sure if you're not going in the line with your god, they can take away your powers. Can they?
Yes. My abilities are her gift onto me as part
She
of my faith in
purses-
her.
Sorry. She purses her lips as if she's about to say one word, and then says, "The Raven Queen and I have bumped heads on occasion.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Her strands of fate have been like a spider web for me. And yet there have been times when we have worked very closely together."
That sounds like my mistress.
She and I are somewhat similar. We have an accord. Some gods, if they found me, they would seek to, if not punish, control me, I guess. As such, I stopped myself being on their radar. Even you, here, now, the eyes and ears of the Raven Queen. You see me, you perceive me, you know where I am. You can pinpoint me in an area. And it won't surprise you to know that I have certain protections.
No, and to be completely honest, very little surprises me at the moment. It seems to be just the ilk in our life that since we met up with you, that don't put any faith in your plans ever surviving the first time you step through a front door. Seems to work very well for us.
In that case, you are uniquely qualified to become a chronomancer.
Oh joy.
Obviously, it's difficult, requires power, concentration, and a certain amount of, well, gut instinct, dumb luck. So similar, it's hard to tell the difference sometimes.
Oh, Farewell has plenty of that, we can assure you. Did you hear
Thank
about
you.
when he died?
That would certainly qualify as dumb luck. You have some strange, beneficial spirits or gods protecting you, Farewell Pepper's. Not just the Raven Queen. Very well.
I mean, have you met the people I hang out with? Is that any surprise?
I would like to think that when I reached out into time and looked for the intersects to go in the direction that I wanted to, and the fact that you all burned like the sun, I would like to hope that you have those qualities. Or my judgment, my gut instinct was incorrect. You all, as far as destiny can be applied to a situation like this, were destined for interesting or terrible, depending on your point of view, lives. By intersecting, even if you're not successful, you have the best chance. Anyway, I suppose if you were to be my apprentice, I should give you some reading material. She walks up to the mirror in her room, in her part of the room, and just walks cleanly through.
Not unexpected.
No, but we should make a note of that one.
No,
Especially
we already knew
you two.
about it.
You
Yeah.
did?
No, I don't know if we did.
Cora did it.
Cora did it.
Yeah, Cora told
I don't know
us
if Cora
when
told
she
you
showed
guys.
us the book.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, she did. Yeah.
You're muted.
Kate, you're muted.
Sorry, I told someone. Like, I don't know if I
Yeah,
told the
she
entire
told me and
group.
Corinne when Nick was off for the week, because we had the girls' book club night then.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yes, I
definitely
remember
showed
the
them the
book.
books, so I must have told them where I got them. Yeah. I think I did it almost straight away. I
I
told them.
think the consensus
mirror.
was that Farewell was slightly miffed that he was not invited to the book club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it was one of you guys that told me what the mirror was called because I didn't know.
Yeah,
what it
that was
the vault.
probably me.
Yes, I remember Glory rolled that. Suddenly there's an outline of the mirror starts to warp. There's an outline of a woman in a mixture of Elizabethan and wizard robe garb. It bends until the silvery figure starts coming out of the mirror, and then color spreads back to this pale-skinned, red-headed woman, Renata Green, carrying a book. She hands it to you, Farewell, and
Thank
says, expect there to be a cipher. That's part of getting the training, I suppose. And you can see the front title is all in cipher. It's a strange language made up of mostly geometric glyphs.
Well, we have a bit of a journey ahead of us, so plenty of time to work on it.
Yes.
The book is part entrance exam and part course 1.
Joy. Well then, I suppose I should...
Welcome to the organization.
I'm not really good at this bit. Can we move on just for the sake of my own awkwardness?
No.
Just don't do this bit.
Yeah,
It's in the book.
thank you.
And so she, with no ceremony or etiquette or anything like that, she picks up a biscuit, bites into it in a way that's less graceful than the way she's normally been around you. Crumbs kind of fall down her top and she brushes it away. And with half a biscuit left and no ceremony, no goodbye, she walks up to her desk, sits down, opens up a book and starts writing with a very familiar looking pen.
Well then, I suppose we have a journey out of you. Us. Eclipse, you said something about a mausoleum. I don't think that's correct, but I'll take your word for the tabaxi name of it.
It's called a mausoleum. It's
Where you keep your mouses.
where you keep mice and other things, but mostly mice.
This is very disrespectful to the dead that's interred there, and I would remind you the last time we upset the dead, it was a very
It's
painful
dead mice,
experience.
obviously.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what will happen now. It won't be mice as you and I will expect it. It'll be some 9 foot tall, 4-mouthed, 19-clawed abomination from the abyssal hells
Is Simon
that
making
you
notes?
and I are gonna have to fucking deal with. All because you thought it'd be really funny to continue on for the last 9 hours. This
Rat ogres for the Death Lord. Okay.
I thought that was just a children's tale, Farewell. Are you sure it's real?
Don't start. It's been a day. And I just get up and start walking out.
We're trying to lighten the mood. You've been so stuck up now. Come on. Let's get ready. Ooh, we need to stop by Noki.
No, the first thing we need to do, we need to go to Mr. Tentacle Guy.
Oh, you want to talk to Duke's son, yeah.
Yes.
I recommend we do that on the way back. That kid has not had long enough to repair.
It hasn't been
and
that
to heal.
long. They said
I want to go and check. I'm going to go and check. Bye.
I cast Hold Person.
Corinne, do a what is it?
Wisdom
Wisdom
saving
saving
throw.
throw.
Yeah. It's only for a
Most of your
minute.
spells go to controlling your party.
corralling the
reigns.
party, more or
It's
less.
Wrangling-
actual toddler reigns.
He's wrangling cats. He's literally wrangling cats.
I mean, that's a 12, but I'm going to keep rolling because every 6 seconds I keep rolling. 'Cause I don't know
You've
what...
got to beat an 18. For the
Yeah.
love of gods, please let the prince. little
That's a
dukeling
20.
rope.
So I break out and I run. I double my speed and triple dash, and I'm out of there.
Should we just leave her?
Yeah,
I'm
let's
not
just
chasing
leave
after
her.
I'm not.
It-
If she can't
We
respect
can't do
the fact
the
that the kid needs to
the
heal.
heart of Juradan without the person obsessed with the heart of Juradan, though.
No, but we
You know-
can say hello to Noki
Well, we can
Oh.
do everything
and
Yeah,
else.
drop off
right.
some stuff.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay,
what
so-
she could, she's not
As
going
you're
to get
saying this,
anything out of the
this is
kid.
still in Renata's study. Renata's kind of writing. There's a sudden chuckle behind the desk, and she taps a little tune on the desk. Eclipse, you're dashing through the street. You dash around the corner, knowing that Renata's house is just off one of the main thoroughfares in a small residential street where there's a tavern and a bunch of well-to-do houses that you know that Renata actually owns the entire street, and that most of her lieutenants actually live on that street. You guys are different because you're supposed to be specialist agents, and so you're elsewhere in the city. You turn the corner, narrowly missing a half-orc hot chestnut vendor. He's like, "Oi, careful!" As you turn the corner, one of the lamplighters jumps out the way with his ladder, and you tear down the street. One of the horse-drawn carriages ends up pulling in front of you, wondering where you're going and whether they should swerve out the way. You jump around the carriage and nearly go into a hot chestnut vendor, half-orc. Oi! Careful! You charge forward, and a second lamplighter pulls their ladder out the way, and another carriage goes in front of you, turns the corner, you leap deftly off to one side, turn the corner, and nearly go into a chestnut cellar. Oi! Careful! This time, you know that the ladder's coming and vault over it and think, this time, right, I've got you this time, and skitter, doing a power slide underneath the carriage, this time knocking over the hot chestnut seller's stall. What are you doing? That costs money. You gotta pay for that. As the lamplighter, who wonders what the kerfuffle's all about, turns with the ladder, nearly lamping you out. You roll because you're a rogue, so I'm not even getting you to roll for any of this shit. And I
try and turn another way instead of trying to go the same way.
At which point, because you had to duck under the ladder, the guy who was with the horse manages to just pull the horses short and goes, "Are you all right, miss?" And you hear behind you, 50 silver, love.
I toss him like 5 gold.
Thank you. You can eat them off the floor. Picks up the restore and walks away.
Yes, I will carefully now walk to the thing instead of dashing through. I was just dashing out so they couldn't catch me.
There's a few times where you get deja vu on the way there, but yes, you walk up to the palace. What's everybody else doing?
Taking a very nice, very gentle stroll, probably to go get ready, set everything up, and be
You
reasonable.
wanted to speak to Noki as well. Okay.
And Felicia wanted to speak to Noki, so.
Okay.
Oh. Mostly just check in with our tavern.
So you get to the tavern pretty quickly. When you get there, Noki gestures you over actually and says, Miss Green has said that you may need these. Brings some purses from under the bar. Says there's 1,000 gold in each. Okay. I should see you to where you're going. I don't know where the hell you're going. You're going to bribe somebody or something?
I think this is a bribe for us more than for someone else.
She doesn't need to bribe you. You can get anything you want in the city. No,
it's just allowance.
I thought you were going to some, country bumpkin village somewhere.
Mostly.
Yes,
that is what we're doing.
Okay, because you asked me to look up a decent carriage, and but then you said that you were going to use Farewell's caravan. Yes.
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 Okay.
You
still need the horses?
Yes.
Yes, we need the horses.
Okay.
I'll be working while we're traveling, so preferably, how many does it take Farewell to make it not too heavy for them? We could go at a pretty decent speed with 1, but 2 might be better.
2 would be with my recommendation.
Yeah.
You can put up to 4 on the caravan. If you put 4 on there, the caravan just moves. But it depends on what you put in there. And unfortunately, the way that the caravan is, you can't put it's not like a coach and 4. You can't put 4 decent sized geldings on there.
No.
You could hook up a gelding or a pair of geldings, and the yoke would be kind of like that. You could do it, but mostly you're looking at the kind of slow caravan horses, largely because they're all muscle and they go slow because they're pulling a lot.
Yeah, they're working horse.
Yeah. So Noki notes down what you want, gets the horses for you, and says, will there be anything else? He's smiling at you, and it's starting to feel, I guess, for you guys that Noki is home. This beautiful bronze-skinned guy with gold orbs for eyes, long cornrows going down his back, that same smile all the time, always very genuine. He says,
well, what about the latest gossip? We've been out of town for a few days now.
There's no gossip. You were the last interesting bit of gossip. Well, not you personally, but no, the Duke's son returning was the last big thing. But of course, he's been recovering for the most part. We've had a continuing good success with having some of the 7 sails here.
It'll be quick, 4 frames. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we are doing well. We are prospering. Yeah.
That's good. Oh, I brought with me some spices from Atalzaran. I thought it might be useful for you.
Thank you. Yes. I shall start experimenting immediately, and if it turns out We will get some more. This Norukan, yes, I understand the.
Oh no, these are from Skalra.
We also have some from Naruka.
But we have
Okay.
some from Naruka too,
Okay,
since you liked
yeah.
the ones we brought last time.
Yeah, I mean, this is like bringing an artist exotic paints. He's overjoyed and starts smelling them, pinching them, rubbing between his fingers, seeing if the color comes off. Just everything to do with food. Noki is, is top of his game.
That's why we keep bringing him stuff.
Oh,
There we go. One
There we
we
go.
go.
yes.
Yeah, hold on, I'll fix
I'm back
it.
by unpopular demand. Hello.
I just gotta hang up from this one.
There we go.
I
There we
fixed
go.
it.
Did it work?
Yeah, I kicked you.
Oh, you kicked me. Okay,
Sorry,
now I need to like hide the picture that's over
Yep.
his face.
Hello, dude.
Yeah.
The only thing
Hello.
is we're in the wrong space.
Oh,
That's
we are.
fine.
No, we're all in the right spot.
No, we're in the right space.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we are.
I was
Huh.
I
Look at that.
put us in the right space with my new person, and then just needed to switch.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, he fills you in on some of the gossip. There's not a huge amount going on at the moment. The only thing that catches your interest is there's somewhat of a witch hunt in the city. Typical
Oh, cool.
but you go to any city, there's usually some form of arcane or dark magic or blood magic or infernal or abyssal panic going on, especially one with as many churches and gods as this. This one,
So the usual.
yeah, I mean, this one, as he starts describing it to you, give me, Felicia, because of your background, give me a charisma roll with proficiency.
Those are my rolls. That is correct. It is apparently not my role today. Charisma with proficiency, that should be the same as that one. So it's a +9. That's an 18.
18. On an 18, yeah, it sounds a bit different. You make a mental note to go and speak to some of your friends in high society in Ostergald and look in on it. Largely, what you just don't want is another dodgy cult amongst the rich.
Yeah.
You want control of the rich, not them. So
Exactly.
last thing you want is some robe-wearing, dribbly candles, person taking all the pretty girls off to be acolytes and things. It's just not on. Yeah, that's your hunting ground. Yeah. So there's something about it where you're just like, oh, okay, this isn't just superstition. Clearly, somebody's got some sort of freaking game going. I'll figure it out later. Now you've got a lot of influence, a lot of power, even in the city. You're pretty sure you'll be able to run them out of town single-handed. It's not a problem.
Shouldn't be too hard. Talk with the right person. Say a thing in the right ear.
Noki rounds off telling you about it. He goes, yes, so because everybody's looking for the voice, anything that sounds like whispers, or anybody who hears something and then gets a sinful thought, when really all it could be is just the person in the past that may have been pretty, or maybe they just got pissed off because they had a really bad day or something like that. Now everything is the voice, just about.
Simon.
Yeah.
Question. Because I just came in, like I just literally just stumbled into the fucking session. Where where is Aiden right now? Does he know about this whole witch hunting business going on?
So you went to Renata Green in the last episode. They rounded up there. Most of the stuff was between Renata and Farewell, so we were mostly reiterating some of the stuff that was there.
Eclipse ran away to go and bother the Duke's son.
To be
so
a bastard, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're just talking to Noki, who's just filled Felicia in on some gossip. Each of you got 1,000 gold pieces in a pouch, just considered to be operational funds.
Yeah.
And so now you're getting ready to go off on a Heart of Duradan quest without the reason you're going, because she ran off.
Well, I'm back soon. I just need to go speak to the Duke's son because we've been putting that off.
So
First of all, we haven't been putting off. We've been letting the sun heal. And second, he's not going to talk to you if he's completely whacked out of his brain.
Well, he was almost like he was.
It was
getting
nowhere near good. He was like a human. He was like a baked potato. He had been thoroughly poached.
It was a fish on a barbecue where the eyes are just white.
Yeah, you could stick a bloody fork in him and it'd come out clean, and you'd be like, "Look, this is my entry into the Great British Bake Off."
Yeah.
But I can safely assure you that kid
Someone
is
clip
like
that.
Expectations, reality.
yeah. That kid is fucked.
Yeah.
Can we
like,
go see how fucked he is?
Yeah, cozy.
That's the only reason you want to go. At least be fucking honest. You just want to go and poke.
No,
the
I
fucking
generally want to speak
fucked
to
up kid.
Eclipse especially because she was in his head. So
Yeah. So was a Titan.
You were not the
Actual
only thing
Kraken.
in his head. Maybe he doesn't want someone in his head for a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
she's not gonna go.
Yeah.
He had the
again.
actual Kraken in his head, and I sous vide'd the poor guy. So anyway, but we're going to do it because that's where you're running to. So you go
He's
to the
somewhere
guards.
between well done and medium rare.
Yep. So Eclipse, you run up to the guards. The guards see who you are. They let you through because you're at that level.
Yes.
You get
Well, I
to-
walk. I'm not running at this point. I'm
Yep.
walking.
You
and
walk
I'm
up to
being respectful.
the Duke's palace. The guards outside there recognize you for who you are and let you through.
This seems
get-
really bad.
You get to the
Either
chamberlain
that
who
or the
asks if
city
you have an
as a
appointment.
whole has learned that no one can stop Eclipse
Yep.
when she wants to go somewhere.
Eclipse is literally the unstoppable force.
So
We
you get
just
into the
need to
palace.
figure out where we can get an immovable object.
So you get into the palace. You're in the antechamber, so the whole palace. And I was about to say the chamberlain. It wouldn't be the chamberlain; it'd be the major domo. Major domo walks up and says, "Ah, yes, eclipse of the moon. This is quite a tall-looking winter eladrin. How can I help you?"
I was just to see how our dear what's his name? I have it. Tristane, thank you. How dear Tristane is doing.
Such a wonderful act of kindness and charity to be looking at our most beloved son at this time. Yes, he is. He is coming. He's coming back day by day. Obviously, still having to deal with a great amount of personal inner loss from his travail, but one that was not going to prove fatal, thanks to you all. And were you looking to make this a personal visit to Master Tristane?
Only if he wants to. Can you check if he wants to see me at all, or if you prefer to?
How polite of you to only accept his company, though he owes you so much, if he feels up to it. That, I believe, would be the quintessential question. I shall return momentarily. Major Domo leaves, comes back, and says, he can spare you a few brief words. I would ask you not to try and tax his memory. Particularly, try not to get him to recall the events that led him to his current state.
Okay.
I would ask you not to do this because we are inching him along into getting at peace with what happened during his specialist sessions.
Yes. Eclipse, don't fuck up the therapy.
Yeah, don't fuck up his therapist's work.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, is their Our Only Sunny card title. Boom. His therapy.
I need to watch that show because of all the references coming in. Right.
Yes, I will go and see him briefly.
Okay. You walk into a room where you found cookies and porn.
Yes.
Yep, you're remembering now. Cora ate the cookie.
Grandma porn. I think.
Grandma porn. Yes, grandma porn.
I mean, like.
Yes.
Technically, at the time she wrote it,
she wasn't a grandma when she wrote it.
I know. I was trying to wait.
Make it
The
classy,
people's
okay?
images
Come
on
on,
that.
we've got a bar that we.
His
never
grandma's
use.
porn. Okay.
This is
But not-
anachronistic.
Oh, now it just
Yeah.
seems like he's got
Anachronistic.
porn of his own
Porn
grandma.
that grandma wrote. More specifically.
Yeah.
Fanfic. Was it?
You took a bullet for
No,
him.
no,
He
it was-
could have
it was-
found that. So yeah. Anyway.
It was proper. I don't think it was fan fiction.
It was
but
a love
definitely
letter,
what
but it
she
was a quite.
wanted.
Yeah.
She wrote smut about her and her future husband.
There you go.
Now we have dirt on the Duke's family.
Yes.
That's what it is.
God.
Oh yes, dirt for like a 200-year-old grandma.
I'm waiting
mean-
for the moment where you turn around to the Duke and say, "We've got dirt on your family. Your grandmother was horny once." He's like, "Well, I'm fucking here, aren't I?"
Yeah.
It's where
Yeah,
it shows
shut
up with
up.
like the wiffle bat, and it's like, no, go back to horny jail. Bonk,
Bonk.
bonk.
That was worth it just for the word wiffle bat. Anyway. So you walk in. Sorry, I'm having to go back to a somber scene now. You go into a very familiar room, and in a four-poster bed, which you know is these are the heirs' quarters. And in a four-poster bed with a butler servant, you're not quite sure, stood to one side, giving you a nod. Clearly, they've been briefed. Gestures to a chair that is by the side of Tristane. Tristane has sat up by the looks of it recently, and he is just drinking with a shaking hand some water from a crystal tumbler. Hands it, instead of trying to put it back onto the tray, hands it to the servant, and the servant puts it back onto the tray.
Have they like regenerated his face and eyes and stuff?
You can see that his eyes are still milky, kind of heavy cataract kind of look. His face is very pale and wan. There's not the lobster pink look that you saw before. You do notice that his facial hair, you can't see any. None of his facial hair. It seems that his eyebrows have fallen out. No eyelashes either. And it's a bit of a very. It's like someone has sterilized his face. He says, "I am afraid I can only see outlines, blurs. I'm told that this is you, Eclipse."
Yes, this is me. Hello.
The tone of voice is very far removed from the eloquent, driven, passionate young man you met under the city when you rescued him for the first time.
Yes,
So-
we had saved this damsel in distress 2 times.
I feel twice that you have saved me from my own folly.
I mean, I think the first time you weren't actually in danger. It was more the second time.
And yet I was on my way to it. Obviously, I shall find a more eloquent way of thanking you all when I am stronger.
I asked him, would it be easier if I speak to you through message?
I would rather you did not.
Okay.
I would rather my throat feel as it does that someone is feeding me pokers and embers than have anyone in. And he just gingerly taps his head.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know what service I could be for you right now?
Oh, no, it was not service. I was just wanting to check how you were doing, as you were not too great last I was in the city.
Somewhat of an understatement. But thank you. Yes, and it is good to have a friend visit, as I see you and your companions as friends. You are not in any way intimidated by position or wealth. Arguably, you're more powerful than many individually, at least in the city. I've yet to speak to Renata. I have a feeling I need to be stronger when she gives me her particular dressing down.
Oh, yeah, she might scold you.
He winces at the word scold. Being that he spent a lot of time being scolded.
Yes. Yes. No, she's very grateful that when we found you, it was. I don't know if they told you, but it was on her request that we went out looking for you.
Yes, I am most grateful to her. But knowing where you had to go, what you had to do, no one would have blamed you for saying no.
Yes. Obviously, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. So I'm not going to
I
press on it.
choose not to, thank you.
Yeah.
But Renata has always taught me about the responsibilities of an arcanist, to not mess with things beyond what one should individually be able to achieve with arcane means. And I ignored her. I ignored them all. I've caused my father untold heartache. And if he was to disinherit me from my titles, it would be deserved.
You know he would never do that, though. He loves you too much.
Whether he would or would not is neither here nor there. It's whether he should. I am compromised. I can feel it. I can feel it. Still. I am separated by distance. Where once I laughed at my father's fear of the sea, I sought nothing more than to conquer it, conquer that which he could not. Now I am terrified, but for different reasons. This is the closest I could bear to be to the shore.
Do you want to tell us why you did? Don't say if you can't tell us now, that's fine. But
A conversation for another day. He takes another drink of water. Clearly, the whole conversation has hurt him. And yet he feels like, you can see that he feels like he owes you his time.
I don't want to cause you any pain or discomfort. It was...
You have not. This is all me.
Yes.
All me. You can see the spirit is crushed. You're seeing signs of self-loathing, wallowing in his own blame, but no one being able to tell him that it wasn't his fault. You have a feeling that nobody could really give him any justification that would be able to convince him of him being anything other than an idiot.
I mean, you were... I want to say that it wasn't your fault. In a way, it wasn't, because you were misled by bigger things.
I'll say to you what I've said to the others that have tried this line of reassurance, grateful though I am for your efforts. A fool of good intentions is still a fool.
Well, the good intentions is what matters.
Just tell him he was an idiot, please.
No. The good intentions is what matters, not... Even though there is a saying that says the road of hell is paved with good intentions.
I nearly walked that road.
The good intentions still matter.
They do still matter. But liability is still a thing. They're not... Good intentions matter, but they're not all that's important. Foolishness. Harming others through folly. None of that can be excused by good intentions, only understood.
Well, instead of looking for excuses, look for understanding.
I have already meditated on this. It is not my intentions, my loyalty, or my devotion to the realm that I one day with luck be able to serve as Duke. We must be careful when we live in a world separated by so thin a veil, the horrors that would tear it apart. You know this.
Oh, yes.
You have plugged me from the jaws of one and defeated, at least for now, another.
Yes.
He reaches forward, leaning towards you. The servant goes forward in their chair. And he brings up a scarred hand to silence the assistant. Leans forward, puts the hand that he used to silence the aide on your shoulder, and brings his mouth up to your ear.
Up here.
Yes, up here. Kind of angling his head. You can hear from the wincing that this is causing him a lot of pain, and yet he persists like it's the most important thing in the world. And in your ear, he whispers,
"He speaks and will return."
When he sits back, tears are rolling down his cheeks. His eyes have gone from pale, almost needing to moisten his eyes. His eyes look almost dry. But when he sits back, when he comes from whispering in your ear, his eyes are bloodshot red. Pink rings around the eyes, and the tears just fall and fall. He's not blubbing. His face is stoic, like alabaster. But from these bright pink bloodshot eyes, tears just fall freely.
Yeah. I stand up, and either I like judging that I put a hand very, very gingerly on his shoulder and say, "We'll be ready."
He steels himself. When you touch him, it's clear that it hurts, but he steels himself. When you say "we'll be ready," He nods, but you have a feeling from the body language that he doesn't believe you.
Trust me. We got a dragon on our side.
And I leave.
And yeah, you leave. And as you get to the door, you can hear the aide coming up and clocking over Tristane, saying, Your young Grace, you shouldn't have done it. And just as you're there closing the door, you can see that the servant is lying Tristane down on the bed.
Yes. See, I didn't fucking up.
You never said you would.
No, we were just talking about the fact that it could have been done in a totally different sense. Because I would have told him that, yeah, he was a complete and utter idiot, that he owes it to his people to be better than this.
I don't think that would have helped much.
No.
The second you step outside, the Major Domo says, thank you for being gentle with the young Grace. Bear in mind, this kid is like 24.
Yeah, it's like the same age as me.
Yeah. The Major Domo takes you to the front of the palace after the usual kind of airs and graces of asking, do you need food? Do you need drink? Do you need a fresh horse? Do you need anything? Because there's etiquette and tradition, certain questions that have to be asked. And he's kind of almost rabbiting it off, knowing full damn well you're just going to go a few streets away. At least, so you don't need a horse. You could probably find your own lunch, but it's traditional where someone is leaving a palace and is considered to be a friend to the Duke, that you are offered these things.
Eclipse is just kind of like looking like a big question mark. We're like, why would I need a horse?
I'm trying to educate these fools, but it doesn't work.
Did you not see the fact that I ran here? Why would I need a horse? I ran here.
Like I ran fast. I run faster than a horse. Why do I need a horse to slow down?
I just realized that Glory and Eclipse are just two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, we really are.
It's hilarious.
So you guys are talking to Noki, and Noki provides you a little mid-morning snack. And barreling through the door is a very pleased and smug-looking Eclipse.
That is not a good sign.
How badly did you fuck up his mental state?
None. I made it better.
Inside.
I'm telling the truth. So whatever you roll,
he knows you're telling the truth. The insight was just down to
was it actually Eclipse, or was it everybody around her not letting us see?
The fact that he said it was everything.
24.
It's the fact that regardless of if you're telling the
believes that she's, done something good for him.
Yes. It's the
that could still mean something bad, though.
Yeah,
yes, because it only means that Eclipse believes she did the right thing.
Yeah.
Not that it was the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, to find out whether or not she did fuck up is probably going to visit Tristane and doing a medical check, because that's the closest we have to a psychotherapy check. Anyway.
I lean over to Farrell like, we're gonna have to go and check up on that later. Not this time, but next time maybe.
Yes. He's up and he wanted. Actually did ask if he did want to see me, and he said yes. It was not. I did not.
Of course he did. That's proper courtesy. We saved his life. In proper etiquette, he doesn't have a right to say no to that, Eclipse.
Don't tell her that.
No, he genuinely wanted to see me. Not everybody is a big evil villain going wah ha ha ha. I need to have proper etiquette.
What does etiquette have to do with evil?
Well,
I mean, in my experience, people who follow proper etiquette tend to be like big evil.
Yes.
I think that's a little unfair. Sometimes some people are just nice and polite. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're all mustache-twirling villains or like
when I
Even
mean
babies.
etiquette, I mean like proper nobility, 3 types of spoons, 3 types of forks etiquette. They
Yes, you
tend to be
weren't
big
here when I
evil.
was trying to explain to Eclipse how to use cutlery properly.
Nice people
He is
exist.
still very much insists that you can hold your oyster fork however you want.
Yes.
And I'm telling her that if you hold it wrong, you will either propose or cause a blood feud.
Yes.
Exhibit A.
We will unpack that later.
Yeah.
Like as soon as
Second,
Glory
you
finished
had a
that, like
very-
Aiden just goes Exhibit A.
Yes. Yes, he's quite rough. He has some memories of what happened. He knows we saved him. He's the Kraken is still kind of pressing on his mind a bit.
That would be expected. Just because we brought him away from there does not mean we severed his connection.
No, and so that's causing him, I think.
By the way,
more...
Simon, at this point, Glory has pressed the privacy ward around their table because
I assumed.
yeah, Eclipse doesn't have a
Does she
filter.
smash it like the fucking like emergency meeting button in the mangas? Like just.
Yes, that is exactly what we have on our table.
So he's quite rough, but I think the physical damage wouldn't be so bad if he's still. I think the biggest problem at the moment is the Kraken still pressing on him. He's very, very lucid, though he's blaming himself a lot about.
I mean,
he was a fool to think it would work, and frankly,
Glory.
he owes it to his people to be better.
Glory, shut up.
Right, but you shouldn't say it.
Point of order, Cora. You can see a glassy outline. Nobody else can of it. Not Enola, Eowyn, on your shoulder. She is lying down like a teenager on her bed, on her front, listening to this like she would be listening to like a soap opera, and she's actually doing her nails on your shoulder.
Glory, that's not how you speak to people. I thought you would know better.
Oh, that is not how I speak to people. This is how I speak with you guys.
I know, and I know. Again, we will unpack that later. We have a very long journey. I think it's very much that we park this, pick it up in a moment. Let's get all the stuff ready. Let's get on the road. We've got a long journey ahead of us. Otherwise, we're going to end up spending the next 4 hours in here arguing the same thing in a circle like we do every single time. Now, out the door, and I start like physically shuffling people out the door.
Grab my nose very well.
Like
we left last time I got started on the.
You're shuffling Aiden, and he's trying to finish his coffee. Like
you can drink and you can walk and fucking drink. You can breathe, can't you? Come on, fucking out the door, out the door.
Yeah, just pour it on your head. That works for Nick. Oh well, farewell. He absorbs it.
On the way out,
runs up and grabs her like big blanket that she like. This is now like she brings her blanket.
Don't have that much bloody room. Put it back.
I put it in my bag of holding. Like
this is exactly a dad trying to get his kids to pack for a holiday. It's like no, one stuff. What?
Those socks don't even match.
Fine, you can wear that, but if your mother asks, you insisted. Now go.
What if you don't want to be Superman every day?
It would be quite literally at this point. Just get in the fucking car. Just get in the fucking car. You said, just get in the car. I'll deal with your mother later. Just get in the goddamn car.
it's hard being a single dad.
Yeah, a single dad of 4.
And he doesn't want us to call him Father Farewell.
You have no fucking idea.
Well, no,
what I was
we
gonna say
intentionally
about
don't have any idea because you're the father.
Green Daddy.
No, we agreed that is also on the list of banned terms.
You agreed. We never did.
Farewell is not your
what I
daddy.
was gonna say. about the
assuredly
blanket
not.
is like Eclipse hasn't really used her bed much, but she brings this blanket to whoever's bed she's sleeping on that night and like puts it over their legs and like sleeps there.
Is this the blanket she stole from Glory's room?
Probably, so it's like
Yeah, I
pink
think
and
that's
fluffy.
the big fluffy one that she stole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you believe that just a day ago in game time we fought again with a red dragon
red
to
dragon,
stop
yeah.
a inter-dragon war, and now we're having what is essentially an episode of The Simpsons but in D&D.
Pretty much every episode.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that.
Love this.
Yeah, I mean, this is so on brand for us at this stage in the game that we might as well just continue rolling with it.
Okay, I have
as
my
you step-
notes. Let's see here. Arcane symbols, chalk, a screen. Let's see here. Oh, where's my residium? Farewell, I need to stop by the market. I need more residium for the carriage.
Fine, just get out of the fucking pub! Now I stood outside in the street yelling through the door.
Eclipse, like when she's going out, she like waves at Noki for him to like throw her just like a fish that she just. Like,
Aiden is just daydreaming about the
I
Dusk
got
Bowl.
the food
That was
already!
nice.
That includes all of your fucking fish! You don't need any more fish!
and she just turns to him like fish, like the fin sticking out of her mouth, going what?
Dusk Bowl was nice. Spending time with Olivia was nice. Dropkicking Hector was nice. I wish I could get back to that.
I'm very. Do you know what? I all joking aside, I'm very glad you're back. I hope you know what you're getting yourself into. Eclipse, will you put that fucking down? Come on!
And Eclipse
As you all
runs
step
to the caravan.
outside, Farewell's beloved caravan with two stock horses. So think kind of shorter, stubbier Shire horses with very hairy feet are in the reins. And there's just something familiar and wonderful about it that immediately lowers your blood pressure a little, Farewell. As you kick the cat out of your driver's seat and get ready to head off
First of all,
onto the road.
my spot. Second, get in the back.
I definitely Misty stepped past him from the pub straight to the caravan, so I didn't have to walk past him all furious.
I'm just like, this is a small halfling just sat in the passenger seat
That's a
at
good
the front bench.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Cora
right.
called shotgun with Misty Step. Yep, cannon. So you set everything up, check the horses, check the reins, and with a sudden lurch, at a speed that is positively sedate compared to the teleportation, the flying carpets, the magically assisted ships that you have been on, you hit the road, like adventurers should do. And with that, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Everybody, bio break, grab some tea, coffee, whatever. Walk around.
Have we even slept since the fight with the dragon? Because I'm still on
No.
44 hit points.
We
Okay, just
have,
wondered.
actually.
Oh
Yeah, we
yeah.
have.
yeah, we have.
We
Yeah,
have.
you have slept,
So I.
yeah. So
I
long rest,
We
yeah.
had our short, long nap.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a rest. Yes,
Right,
because
so we had a
You
long
day
rest.
napped, basically.
yeah, because we went to Naruka and spent the day in Naruka and then
Yeah.
went back.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
had
I
the
just
equivalent of
remember.
a long rest in the garden of Eclipse's parents.
Okay, cool. Just
Because
checking.
Okay.
Aiden went back to the dusk hold and then came
Yeah,
back.
and he just crashed there.
That was.
Oh,
that
that's
was
Yeah.
right.
nice
That's
there.
right.
Because you needed to drop kick your uncle.
Yeah.
I
And
did.
pick up a book that you haven't given to Farewell yet. But anyway, we will do that on
Yeah, I
the
will.
flip side.
That's
do
not
it.
as important as him just like
The
rolling in
important
and drop
aspect
kicking
was that,
something.
yeah, drop kicking, full on jackass style, like.
Right, we're going
Right.
to a break.
Our group.
Okay, see you all in 10.
See you in 10.
Everyone.
And welcome back, everybody. When we left off, Father Farewell, in more ways than one, managed to herd cat mixture of the two, and get everybody on the road again. Farewell. You feel the familiar and wonderful feeling of bowsprings underneath you on a rickety road. You head out of the city and start along one of the many well-made patrol routes, knowing that Duke Edmund Ostermark likes to march his armies out of this city to mostly neighboring districts that have pissed him off. And as such, the roads are good. You start making good time. The horses are well rested and clearly strong and well shod. And you take a moment to just focus on the small things, small practicalities like this that maybe has just been lost from your life. Reconnecting with what is simple, mortal existence. The rhythm of the horse's footfalls, no stranger to pulling loads. Wind, not the wind of flying through the air on a flying carpet, or the lurch of teleportation. Just the journey. You're somewhat salty when jumping out of a bunch of bushes. 6 thugs go, "Stand or deliver!
Are you serious?
Your belongings today, or you don't get it tomorrow." They've got rusty halberds of all things that look like they've dug them out of a ditch.
I stick my head out of the side of the thing, holding a acid ball in my hand. Okay, either you move or you melt. I don't have time for this.
Hold on. Stop. Everybody stop.
Dad, I was sleeping.
Hi,
Why are you
Farewell.
bothering me?
The one with the giant acid ball is Glory. The sleepy cat up there, that's Eclipse. This is Cora, and the pissed off guy with the big gun at the back, that's Aiden.
What's up?
I'm sure none of you are gonna care. You're all big, tough guys, and I'm sure your manhoods are all very sufficient to make everybody very happy. But the thing is, we will all go through you like a hot knife through butter. And the thing is, she'll probably kill all of you in the next 6 seconds if you don't get out of the way. So you should run. Run very, very fast.
I would like from you, not even an intimidation roll, because you're not trying to be intimidating. You're just explaining to them like a dummy's guide to robbery.
Yeah. Just don't rob the really obviously high-level adventuring party, dude.
We're level 12. You guys are probably level 5 at most. You don't want to do this.
I'm wearing like mithril half plate. I've literally got thousands upon thousands of gold openly on my body. Why would you pick a fight with that?
Because in this world, bumpkins know fuck all about it. They just think you've got really shiny armor that will fetch a decent price. They're not entirely wrong.
Remember, anything charisma based I do is at a -2.
It is at a -2, but you do get advantage on your persuasion check because the guy did look at the guy with the gun and is looking at the person holding an acid ball in her
Tiefling, that quarter whatever demon holding an acid ball.
So, Glory, you're probably in luck here because the first roll was a 9. The second roll was a 2. So that's a 7 for whatever that I need to roll. Because if it's got any involvement in charisma whatsoever, I'm not proficient, and it's all at a -2. So, I've resigned myself to digging these guys' graves. Go nuts.
Actually, Simon, can I do something? Before Glory decides to meld these poor fuckers, what I'm just gonna do is, without even looking, I'm just gonna pull out the witch lock, point it out the window, and I'm gonna fire basically a warning shot. I'm not gonna fire at them, but I'm gonna fire a warning shot.
Okay.
Just to say, hey, you don't want this.
So Farewell gives his advice. The lead guy hesitates, sees that some sort of spell. He doesn't know where an acid ball is. All he knows is a little bit of green energy is currently between her fingers.
To save him. I did.
He gets halfway through saying the words, "It's payday, and he's about to say boys when a gunshot goes off, and one of the guys throws the halberd like a spear.
Oh, okay. That was
at the lead horse.
At the lead horse?
What?
Horse?
Excuse
Dude!
Oh,
Glory.
I was. Oh, okay.
Glory, you get advantage on these chuckle fucks. You don't have to roll. You have advantage. You prepare.
I tried. Farewell, I tried.
As the gunshot goes off, he just throws the halberd. You have a feeling they don't quite know what a halberd is.
Yeah.
So
Can I just aim it like last second at the halberd and like the ground in front of them, so that they see that everything else will melt?
No,
and maybe
it's
they
an
will
acid
get
ball. It's the same AOE as a fireball. Yes, you can get the halberd, but you'll get everything else too.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fair.
maybe you can change it into like an acid, like the acid splash one instead
No,
of
she
like.
prepared the spell.
I tucked
so
Farewell.
Felicia, you can destroy the halberd because let's face it, it's going to, and you can do it without hurting the horse.
Oh, thank fuck.
You can't. What you can't do is just kind of aim it at the halberd itself.
Yeah.
You have to center it behind.
Mostly,
and-
I just want it to not hurt the horses.
Can
Okay.
I try? Can I not try an Eldritch Blast at the halberd?
Yes, if you wish, because even though this is all bullet time, everybody's kind of stuck their head out to find out what's going on.
I mean, I was contemplating summoning an elemental to just blow them out of the way. But as he throws the thing, if I'm quick, I want to see if I'm quick enough. I don't know if I need to roll something to see if I'm quick enough. But
Nah, you can
so-
go before me.
Glory, just roll damage. Seriously.
While this happens,
Haste,
I just
I'd like you to roll,
talked to Farewell, and I'm
blasts
like,
to hit.
Yes.
I just talked to Farewell, and it's like, we could have avoided this if you kept going, right? Could you just ignore them?
No, because
They're in the
they
road.
were blocking
in
the
front of
road, I
horses.
think.
They were blocking the road. Sorry, I thought
they
it
were
was the side.
blocking the
Sorry.
road, and I didn't want to run them over.
No, that's fair. That's
Glory
fair. I
would have
didn't know
just
they were
shot
blocking
them out
the
of the
road.
back of the caravan as we were running past. So either way, they were going to get melted. I think this was
missed
the
that
only
detail.
way.
Sorry.
This was the only way I think we could have avoided them getting melted. I mean, they are about to get melted. I just wave by.
Well, I rolled 13 and a 6, which gets me a 24 and a 17.
Both hit. This guy was so bad at throwing this thing that the first one actually hits the tip of the halberd and gets it going spinning, and the second one just sends it careening off the thing. So yeah, with 2 telekinetic blasts, you're just like.
Eclipse goes back to
distinct.
sleep.
So I rolled pretty badly, but I think a 31 should melt
I think
them.
Aiden is just gonna like load another round into the witch lock and just go shame.
Yeah. Shame.
So yeah, 31. You only just chunky salsa them, but you do chunky salsa them. There's a sudden boom as this huge meniscus of acid covers the area effect of the spell, and like a wave, when it hits the edge of the spell, you magically dissipate it so it doesn't hurt anything else. And 6 blackened skeletons fall to the floor.
Okay, that felt excessive.
Yay.
That was, I
Yeah,
mean, Glory.
that's
I mean, they were just morons. Okay.
Sorry, I'm still a bit hyped from being in Skullrat. I'll reach for something less lethal next time.
Maybe.
I mean,
Define
the only good
less
thing-
lethal.
I mean, the only good
Only
thing about it
lightly
is-
melt them?
That's
I
not
don't
less
think
lethal.
That's how it works. I purr and then like whatever's in front. I don't whatever's lap I have in it like that I have my paws in. I do the thing.
You bake cookies. Yeah.
Yeah. It's either Dory or Aiden because we're in the back. So it's one of the two.
Glory was working on like it has a lot of scrolls and stuff around her because she's working, so
In that
she
case,
might
it's
be using
definitely you,
Eclipse's
because that's like
back
opening your
as a
laptop in front of a
table
cat.
as she's
Yeah.
typing.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Well-
I know your rationale was to say it's not you, but you gave the exact rationale why.
Oh
it-
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no. I wanted to get to it. It's probably Glory because she's using Eclipse's back as her like table as she's writing and stuff. Because she's working
I
on
didn't-
enchantments.
This
for
hasn't
the,
brought up a bit, but Aiden's still a
caravan.
bit of an atheist, but he still goes like, "Thank you," like just thanks whoever for that.
Well,
Okay.
we're in a caravan.
Yeah,
Aiden,
it's
so you
probably
might
her.
need to pray to her.
I'll think about it.
Okay, so Felicia, you haven't finished the full enchantment yet, so the inside of the caravan is the same as the outside at the moment, right?
Yeah, it's still the same. It was basically the thing that she would be working on it while we're traveling in it.
Yeah.
So that was the consensus we came to.
Okay. And with that punctuation, days pass. You go through small villages as you go towards the north, towards
10,356 bottles on the wall. 10,356 bottles on the wall.
Me,
Take
kill me,
one
kill
down,
me,
you pass
kill
it
me, kill me,
around.
kill
10
me,
million.
kill me, kill me, kill me. Like,
Aiden is just looking up like, where's my knight? Where's
I
my
would like to
dusk?
think that in the
Please.
next 10 days, every now and again, when dusk hits, you just see this figure leap out of the caravan. And into
it's just fucking like cannonball out of the caravan.
A door appears in the floor and he just goes,
Now you're thinking with forces.
You are experiencing good old caravanning with us. We are
I
all in
imagine.
this-
Here's the thing. I imagine the Witchlock pistol has an enchantment to avoid harming the user or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because this is an intricate thing. So it's something. So like the idea that every now and then before when he's not in the dusk hold, you just hear a constant click, 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 click. Why won't it work? Click, 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 click.
Occasionally, you switch the barrel to Ghost Lantern, and as far as you're concerned, you're lit up by green fire, but no one else can see it.
When you do sleep in the caravan, sometimes like one of you guys will like wake up with like just like Eclipse will have like laid over your face. So you wake up and see flow.
The Baxies having no sense of personal space is just, it has to be, right?
I fits, I sits.
Yeah.
Sometimes we trick her by bringing out a box and placing it next to the cat.
Yes.
and I have to choose between.
It doesn't have to be a box. It could just be a book or anything rectangular.
Anything.
Yeah, anything rectangle. Yeah, so you just like draw out in chalk on the thing a rectangle, and Cliff just sits in there going, yes.
You just watch her veering towards it, walking towards it, then getting, passing the save, turning around, walking away, and a few more minutes she's gravitating to it again. Yeah, because you know she's only part cat. So yeah, the about 12 days.
Maybe part cat, but she's also the most cat of all part cats.
I will, if Cora's willing, swap driving duties to allow me to work on this book, as I want to have a crack at figuring out what the cipher is.
Yeah,
so
I
there
think
will be
Cora
a couple of days.
Definitely enjoys that. But no, I'm just saying, Cora will be up for that. They probably did it a bit in the day, and it's quite nice to be back doing it.
Because there, I will be casting on myself. Yeah, so it will be. I will be casting enhance ability on myself, Fox's cunning, and guidance, and then I'll be working on it, and then like it will just be days of just repeating that. Just
at some point, Glory will start like penciling out like runes along the like borders.
Oh
of
yeah, because we're gonna like
inside.
increase the size of this. Currently, we are.
And then it's like the next day
caravan.
she's having Eclipse remove half of them because she's decided to put them somewhere else in the cipher. You know.
Yeah, so Eclipse is like, okay.
I think there's one day where Aiden just resembles a corpse.
Yeah,
on the
probably.
There's that like, one fly that goes.
Yeah.
He just sort of sits on his head, and Aiden just doesn't move, and everyone's just like watching him, like, what the fuck? And it's just like crawling around all around his face, and then you said, it's like it's getting closer and closer to like his mouth, and it's like, you're gonna move. You're gonna move. Oh god, he ate it.
12 days later, you get to the borders of the Ostermark lands. And you can see that in front of you is a border guard post. Farewell, you've seen plenty of these. The rest of you, Aiden probably... probably only about Aiden would have seen these. Being that the rest of you have travelled either by sea or other means or haven't travelled at all. So you haven't been much between the Vardencore states. You can see that it has the same symmetry as usual, Farewell. It has two guardhouses back to back. It has a fence. Normally in a pass, this is kind of a pass, but you could see that if you're willing to go maybe a few hours ride in each direction, you could probably just cross the border anyway. And the guards there are largely a status thing because it's all about territory. You can see as you come up very, very slowly that two sets of guards are sat either side of the fence. And they've erected some sort of strange table by which half of the table is on one side of the fence and the other half is on the other side of the fence, next to the gate which they open up for people who are passing by. Sat on either side of this table is two guards apiece, two on this side, two on that side, and they seem to be playing some sort of game. As you get closer, you can hear one of the guards going, Harry, you're not going to stop at Blackforge lands? But surely Balin's landing. And presumably Harry turns around and goes, "No, I rolled 2 6s. I'm going all the way. I'm going to go all the way over to the Deoring Canton." Oh, you fool. You could have made money there. I mean, at the least you could have taken on some supplies. You're going to be ragged out. You've got nothing on board your ship. You're going past 2 red spots there. And he goes, "No, still doing it. Still doing it. Come on, let's do it." He goes, "Fine. Well, you moved more than 6 spaces, so we get to choose which of the spots and I'm going to get you to draw
Anyone?
a red card.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm still a corpse.
What are they playing? What are they playing? Have I
Bear
seen
in
this
mind,
game?
you're coming up really slowly to this, so even if they have seen you, they don't consider you a priority yet. And he draws the opponent, Harry's opponent.
well,
draws
what's the
card,
delay?
And he says, there we go.
I don't know.
Delayed at sea. 3 days.
Gambling.
So that will be that you lose 5 provisions if you've got them. Every provision that you can't pay into the pot, you lose a crew. Oh. No. I was going to win as well. If I'd got to Deoran before you, I could have dropped off. I had 3 tickets as well. He throws the tickets into the middle of the table and says, look, Cole. If I dropped that off at the Deoran Canton, I would have won outright. And it's like, there we go. There's those who are fast, and there are those who get there. Oh, hello. Excuse me a sec. Straightens his tunic, stands up. Ho within, friend or foe, who chooses to leave our august Duke Ostermark's territory?
What?
It's a legacy thing. We got to use the old
okay.
words. Basically, are you a criminal? Are you leaving? Who are you?
Out of curiosity, whoever answers yes to that question.
Oh well, that's where we have one of these. And he points a rod at you and goes, "Can't lie. When I'm pointing one of these at you, can I?" And you can feel
Just
a slight
show him the
pressure
badge,
on your brain.
Farewell.
You have a feeling that you have a very, very, very weak zone of truth being pointed at you.
I mean,
standard
yeah.
issue, see? Standard issue. Can't lie now, can you? Can you?
Yeah. You know what? You can have this one. And I reach into my pocket and I pull out the gold green badge and I just go, we're just going to pass on through if that's all right.
He snaps a
Oh, no, it's platinum now, isn't it? It's platinum.
He snaps a very, very enthusiastic but shoddy salute and says, Green Organization, we know that badge well, sir. I assume that all...
By the way, Aiden is still just a corpse. Just throwing it out there.
Eclipse is currently puddling. They're meeting in Ida's lap.
Head human is still soft human.
So soft human.
My human.
I assume, sir, that you can account for the persons and possessions on your cart.
Yeah, I think so. We packed all our own stuff, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well, sir. Very well. Snaps a salute, which is, again, really enthusiastic, but really badly done. And says, so, after you, sir. He goes to one side and, with all airs and graces, pulls the gate open. And I just need to check something. The other guards are lining up on the other side, presumably to do the other half of the ritual. Oh, yeah, that's why I'm getting the book out. Okay.
Oh, God.
The guards say, Halt, newcomer, friend or foe, you are entering the lands of his august grace, Duke Romanic. Oh, my God. And there goes, boop, farewell. Farewell, 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 farewell. There's about 6 farewells now on various parts of the cart.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
The guards look at each other and goes, we're not
freak out. The thing is, it's all
Wait.
going to be in like unison, I imagine, all at the same time. There's 6 farewells that just turns to them and go, "Don't freak out. Be cool. Everybody, be cool."
Did the book Renata gave you do something weird?
I don't know.
Do they all have badges Harry. And Harry goes, that one did.
And then all of them turn around and go, "What? Me?" Just because Bella's like having a bit of fun when he's trying to figure out how this works.
Excuse me, sirs. Do you are you all? Hang on, sir. The sir that gave the sir that showed me the badge. Can you account for all of yous?
Can I get each one of the different versions of Farewell to point at a different one?
No,
yes,
they
by
move
pure
with
geometry.
I think.
Yeah, okay.
What is it? What happened? Did you cast
Hold on. Let the DM tell me. I didn't hear what he said. Can I do that, Simon?
Actually, yes. When this goes off, all of the copies of you, they do have to stay near you, but they can act differently. They just can't do tasks.
So what I do is I get the 3 nearest to me. So I'll point at one, and then they'll all point out, and then the 2 at the back, like that are closest to because I imagine they're on the roof. One will point to Cora, and the other one will point inside of the thing, and go, "Do you mean this badge? Their badge?" This is so cool. Maybe this is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool.
What is happening? I poke one of the copies.
You poke the copy. The copy. You're arcane trained. The copy is a small force field with a illusion in the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
When you touch it, it feels fizzy.
Thank you for the raid, Seekian.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
I go.
Thanks, Sean.
I go. I'm like, hold on. I really want to.
Oh my god.
I start doing the thing where everybody
cool.
mirrors, and then I'm gonna try and get them to be like a second each one apart. So there's overall there's a 6-second delay, but everything I do then you'll see a hand, we're all
okay.
those gifts where they just you become multiple versions. I'm just gonna be playing with it, just getting them to move around. I'm completely ignoring
You have enough
anything
intelligence to be able to do this.
Anybody is planning or doing or asking. I'm completely ignoring. I'm enthralled in the fact that I've made 6 of me that can mimic stuff. I'm like, ooh.
Yep. You have a feeling that they wouldn't be able to pick up objects or anything like that, but each one presents, for example, if you had a badge in your pocket, each one could pull out a replica of that badge.
Yeah, and so there's just eventually you'll get to the point where there's just now well, I'll pick 6 random guards, and then each one of the farewells will then just turn and present a badge to each of the guards. But this will probably be 2-3 minutes of him just dicking about trying to figure out which each one can do.
It only lasts a minute though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Harry goes, well, they've all got badges, lads. Go on, Bob, let them through. And Bob's there okay. I've forgotten where I was now. Be you entering without malicious intent towards his august grace, Duke Romanicus, then enter and enjoy the hospitality famous for those under his rule. Know ye the bylaws of this land, and gods save the Empress.
Britain.
Yeah. And he
Thank you.
And as he walks to one side, and Harry goes, and God's blessed Empress Celine, third of her name. Oh fuck off. You can see that as you pass by in the caravan, there's the box to the game called Mariners and Merchants. They're kind of putting everything back in the box. About a minute later, there's a popping sensation in the back of your head, and all of your replicas disappear.
Ah. What was that? And I go back a couple of pages and I start again. I'm trying to figure out exactly what that is because like I didn't mean for that to happen as I'm reading through the book. And I'm like, and you just see him sort of like he's doing the verbal components of it, like just like making the mouth shapes. It's just.
You're pretty sure either it was a maelstrom surge, or it was that idiot with the rod not realizing that the rod was probably very old and should be decommissioned, and he either he or the maelstrom surge made the mirror image ability appear on
you. Slightly disappointing. Can't repeat that. But good progress. Good progress. This is a good book. Just back to no talking and no.
Oh
reading.
yeah, Simon. I actually forgot. In my trips to the Duskhold, or in the first one, did I take a look at the fucking book of rituals I got from Glory's grandfather? I forgot about that.
Yes, you would have. You would have. So this set of rituals was it's not from your family. It's from another hunter clan.
Cool.
This set of rituals allows for mostly it's harnessing and diluting certain curses that are transfigurative. So one of them seems to be that you can do a ritual and mutate yourself into some sort of flying form for a short period of time. It looks incredibly complex, but you think you'd be able to figure it out. Another one seems to give you, for a few hours, again, dusk till dawn, strange feral weaponry of your hands. You could do this on anybody. It doesn't have to be a blood hunter that could do it. It's a blood hunter that has to do the ritual, but the subject could be anybody. There's one that allows somebody to move silently as long as they are in dim light or below. Again, dusk till dawn. Same with flying form, dusk till dawn. Then there's also one which allows the voice of a person to make anybody who hears it intensely afraid, and it's called Heart-Stopping Wail. And it looks like this clan seems to have distilled these rituals from creatures that they've hunted. And yeah, a few of the others you look at and you go, okay, these are quite useful. So there's a few summoning rituals, but rather than being summoning as in pulling someone from another plane of existence, these are rituals that for as long as you're successfully casting the ritual, you can get within a certain radius, normally about 10 miles or so, you can get either all vampires, all lesser undead, so skeletons, zombies, that kind of thing, or lycanthropes to come to you. And basically they would lay traps, put their defenses together, and somebody would start doing this ritual and make sure that the fight happened where it was most advantageous for them. It is a battle of wills. You can't do it all unless you're a blood hunter, but you can basically start calling people and compelling people to come to your location. Mostly undead and monstrosities, for the most part.
That's fucked up. Okay, thank you. Back to present day, Aiden's still a corpse.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's...
Clips is now like poking his face.
No reaction, zero. His spirit has left his body ages ago.
She keeps poking him.
And, like,
It's like in
she's
those
like,
animes where like you
she,
see
like,
the
puts her-
corpse and then there's the little ghost coming out of his mouth.
yeah, she like pokes your ear, like in the ear.
Farewell, you check your map and you know that you'll be getting to the village of, let me check, Warrenford within the hour.
I bang on the door, the sort of like, because I imagine there's like a little hatch, but so like where we are, so we can talk inside. So bang on that, open the hatch, and I'm like, we've got a village coming up in about an hour if we want to stop.
Oh, it's the village.
The village. I know. Yeah. Sorry, we've got the village.
Days have
coming up.
passed. Sorry, I'm not going to do every single day. You've been traveling for around about 19 days now.
Yeah, it's like.
Oh wow.
Do you guys want to stop or
Yeah.
push on?
Yeah, you're going by plodding horse.
We're going by slow, so
How
that Glory
loud
has
was
enough
the-
time to work on this carriage.
Yeah.
Uh,
And do other
how
things that
loud
we
was
need
what
to
you
do.
did of Farewell?
Sorry.
How loud was it, like when you did
Oh,
that?
it's probably like it's a good bang, like a proper bang.
Okay, that literally Aiden just snaps and goes, by the name of the Silver Accord, where are we?
I keep poking your face.
Literally, like
Have
when
you been
Farewell,
asleep for,
I'm like on
hours
my
with your
back
eyes open?
in your lap, going.
yeah, like Farewell bangs on the caravan, and Aiden just fucking jumps, and the first things out of his mouth is, in the name of the Silver Accord, where are we?
I
Nowhere
freaking-
yet.
Almost at our destination. It's time to go kill some undead cats, I believe. Or
For the
mouse.
past 2 days, the planks on the inside of the carriage have been slightly warped as the enchantment that Glory is working on is nearly complete. It feels bigger already. The bed that you're, or the kind of bed slash chair seat that you're on, Aiden, you couldn't lay out on it fully and properly when you first started. Now you can do so easily. There seems to be a little bit of space warping on the inside. When it
Cool.
pops, everything will be
Much bigger. It's not properly done yet, but I
I
thought we would need a little bit of wiggle room while I'm working.
yeah. I mean, you've got like another 2 days and you're done.
Cool.
And then we'll have individual rooms.
I expect on a
Though
number
by
of
request of Eclipse, I'm not adding locks to the doors.
Kate?
so I'm just reacting to that. Various nights, or at least the first couple of, or after probably the first couple of nights, Cora remembers the little gold bar in her pocket, and she tests out the big tower thing a few times outside. To
I was
really
waiting
get
for something like that.
Yeah, because I keep forgetting I've got it, and I'm like, well, we're out in the middle of nowhere. She's absolutely gonna throw it down and see what it has in it exactly. Because
Okay.
it was really big, but I don't know if it's like comfortable if they could sleep in it and stuff like that, you know.
Okay, let's do that because
Most certainly,
I've been waiting for
if I
you
remember correctly.
to use some of your magical items.
I know. Well, I keep I need to get a better list of them all.
Keep
to be
forgetting
honest.
as well. So,
Yeah, I
I
know.
feel you.
I don't even remember what that one's called, but I know it's a big tower, and it's a gold bar. But she's like,
All right. Let me just.
she won't
get
do it
that.
in the caravan. She's smarter than that.
After you destroy Noki's roof.
Yeah,
with
well,
it.
she knows what it does now.
Yeah.
So
do
she
not
finds a field.
Destroy my bloody caravan.
Not planning to. Going to a field and throwing
Makes a
out a
change.
big freaking castle thing in the middle of the
Also,
field.
Gloria has been very patiently weaving her runes around the intricacy of the work inside it so that it looks like a part of the caravan instead of like a new addition.
Nice.
Okay. So
Hopefully that should
we'll get to that in
appease
just a sec.
Farewell.
So in some of the nights on the way here, when you guys have made camp, whilst Glory has been doing her thing. You watch as Cora chooses a part of whatever clearing, whatever side of the road, takes out a small 1-inch metal cube, throws it, wills it to change, and erupting from the floor.
Sunrise.
And sunrise and sunset together. On saying sunrise, a 20-foot kind of golden stone tower. So it's like a sunny yellow stone tower, 20 feet on each side and 30 feet high, erupts from the ground. There's a small battlement on the top, arrow slits for windows, and it seems to be 2 stories high. There's a small door facing you, Cora, and when you walk up to it, there's no lock, but it seems to be locked. You try out a few words, and on the word open, the door yours open. Inside, there is a what seems to be a small kind of reception room. There's a table for 4 people. There's a small fire and cooking stove. There's a couple of shelves on which there's nothing at the moment. And in one corner, there is a ladder going up to the 2nd floor. You go up to the 2nd floor and you can see that there is a box that has what seems to be somewhere in the region of about 100 arrows and about 50 bolts. And scattered around the room, there are what seem to be pallets. So bedrolls with decent kind of soft pallet underneath. And then the ladder on the opposite side of the room to the previous ladder goes up to the battlements, where looking out, you've got lovely crenellations in front of you. You've got your own little castle.
Awesome. She's definitely sleeping in that one various nights. Whether other people want to join her or not, she's like, I have a fort.
Well, I think we keep moving. I don't know. Well, the horses need to sleep obviously as well, but I don't know.
You got to rest the horses, yeah.
Yeah.
When we need to rest the horses, Cora can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take up some space because not everyone can fit in the caravan to sleep at the same time.
No, while you're
Again, I
finished.
didn't. When he was like not corpse, he fucking like jump into the dust cold every time he could.
Eclipse would only let him, she would be clinging on. No, I shall sleep on top of you.
And then he goes incorporeal as he enters the dust cold, and she is meowing.
Oh, look, would you look at that? I'm a ghost now. Bye.
And then he's banned from doing that because she kept everybody else up the entire night.
You'd be surprised at what Farewell can sleep through. Hey, look, he's used to traveling in large caravans, all operating at all different times of night. He can fucking sleep through anything.
So with Cora with her own fort, Farewell being able to sleep through anything, and Aiden just fucking get yeeting himself into the dust cold every time he can.
Sleeps
the only one who suffers is Glory.
Yep.
Eclipse gets to the point where she literally cries herself to sleep and then just passes out.
A few days later.
Anyway.
A few days later,
Anyway.
I got this the wrong way around. So yeah, a few days later, the enchantment that Glory has been working on is completed on the caravan. And she kindly asks you to get out while she finishes the last part, closes the door, mutters a few words, and when the door opens, what do they see, Felicia?
The inside has become a large common room where they basically have a lot of pillows and stuff that they brought with, that Glory had brought with them. So like, you know, those bean bags you can sleep in, but like pillows and stuff. So like it's basically just a pillow fort living room right now because they need to get some more furniture, like a small table and stuff like that.
And we don't have any beds or anything, so I don't think.
Wait. And in the back, there are 5 doors that lead into individual bedrooms that currently have nothing in them because we still need to buy furniture. But at the very least, there are rooms for everyone. And the different rooms have different colors on the walls just to make them personalized.
There's only one room that is kitted out. And that is as part of the enchantment, you had to place the original space somewhere. So as Farewell opens his door, the interior of the caravan is there, including all of his books, all of his possessions, everything that was there. You've just basically moved that space into one corner of what is now this trans-dimensional space.
Click, I hook up my hammock, roll into it, and then just gently sway left and right and fall asleep like a baby.
I need to get some furniture, but I think this will do.
Yeah. The squirrel stove has been transmuted to an Arga now, so it's bigger. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go
So
forward.
basically, we have a medium-sized flat inside a tiny caravan.
Pretty much.
I'm basically going to spend any free time that I have squirreling away on that book, so...
This is a
I'll let
weird
you
sequel
tell me
to
how
what we do
far
in the
along I am.
So, I'll get a roll next session for that, Nick. With an hour to go, you can see yourself winding through the woods to the small village of Warrenford, your desired destination.
And the mausoleum.
This is a village that is built around an old set of ruins, some of which they restored for themselves, because good stone buildings are hard to come by. The buildings, as you first walk in, ride in, are your usual kind of edge of the village farms. This is mostly in a kind of, it's in a bit of a basin, and there's a forest. So green belts of forest break up the outside of this village. And from the maps, it looks like that the only part that is completely free of trees obscuring everything is the center of the village itself, where all the stone buildings are. The looks that you get are confused. This is no more than a dirt track now. And a few of the people who are looking at you look like they're going to say something or call out to you, but think better of it. It's about 4 farms in that farmer walks forward. He's got a huge bale of reeds that he's clearly collected. Throws it down onto a handcart and then walks into, not the center of the road, but by the side of it. Well met, stranger. And, haven't seen many like your sort in this parts.
Oh.
All right.
May I ask your,
people.
May I ask your business here?
Go on.
Have you heard of the haunted Jordan?
Get back in, I push her head back inside of the caravan through the gap.
Anybody who is looking outside of the caravan, give me an insight check.
Also, Simon, may I retroactively ask if Glory could have gotten some of those mirrors from Naruka where they show a picture, basically hung them up as windows in the different rooms?
Sure.
Nice.
21 for farewell.
Okay.
17.
Any advance on 21?
No.
Okay. At 21, there is a reaction from this farmer who shouldn't know what the hell the Heart of Jeridan is. The second that she says it, a strange reaction. He looks down at his feet.
Before anybody says anything, I like turn around and I stick my like as much of my body as I can through the gap, and I give like the three of them in there like a very serious stare. Right, before this village gets out the pitchforks and the torches and proceeds to attack us. Yes, I know you can melt them all and kill them. This is not the point. We're not here to wipe out villages from the face of the earth. Do not mention the Heart of Jeridan. They're doing some weird shit already. You mentioned it once, and he looked at his feet. Let's figure out what the fuck is going on, and then we can mention the Heart to your heart's content.
Well, we're not going to be able to figure it out if you don't mention it.
No, not that loud!
Actually, by this point, I'm just gonna...
gonna
say, like...
Oh, just
I
let
don't know.
it read his mind. It'll be fine.
Aiden has worked with a lot of like villages like this, considering his line of work. So he just sticks his head out. It's like, sorry, yeah, Aiden Canelm, head of the Canelm family. We're on Blood Hunter business right now. Nothing you need to get worried about.
Aiden only. Insight check.
Ooh.
Yeah, go on.
We found the secret lich.
I'm more worried.
I'm just fearing for this poor villager's mind as they try to comprehend how so many people fit into this small enclosed space and can just poke out.
I mean, we have been traveling in this very small space for a long time.
All I'm going to say is I don't want this to turn into Yarnum.
Yeah, Aiden doesn't want this to turn to Yarnum either.
This is my concern, that this is about to turn into Yarnum, and that is why I'm like...
Fine, you guys have some
Aiden's
faith.
job is for places not to turn into Yarnum.
So Farrell's all on board that he was very much in that sort of line of work as well, which is the reason why he's like, let's find out, let's talk to people, then we can start poking bears with big sticks.
Aiden just basically pulls not the green badge, but does the we're unofficial Blood Hunter business. Nothing you have to be worried about. We're just passing through. Don't worry about it. I got a 19 on my insight.
Yeah, that's why I'm just going to give you the result now. He goes from looking at his feet when it gets mentioned the first time to then, because he finds out you're a blood hunter, clearly heard of you. And he goes from looking at his feet and looking a little bit guilty to watching you.
You made it worse.
That's not good.
I'm trying to help.
I know. We'll be with you in just 1 second.
So
back in the gap. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cora is just still sitting in the front while Farewell's like trying to listen, but also looking at the guy going.
Okay.
We are nothing to be worried about.
She's done her work. She can now work on personal projects.
The veil is pretty strong in this place. You don't have to worry about zombies or whatever the fuck or skeletons. It's just passing through.
Yeah. This shit is fucked.
Oh really? What gave you the idea? The fact that the villagers that should be not even knowing about these things are acting shifty?
At this point, even the villager is looking a little awkward because the guy he's talking to keeps sticking his head in this hole.
Yeah. Right now he's talking with me. I'm the one like stalling.
Yeah. I'm just like, you know what? Never mind. I tried. I always try.
Release a clip on him. It can't get much worse.
Pop my head back out of the thing, close it up.
I'm afraid we haven't got much in the way of tradable goods here at the moment. We're getting ready for Frostfall, you see.
Where's the
I
mouse,
understand.
Liam?
That's fine.
I kick
I am.
Clip.
As you can tell, we are a rather energetic bunch, and sometimes we require somewhere to rest up for such energies. But equally, I am a cleric of the Raven Queen, and as such,
He tugs his forelock when the Raven Queen is mentioned.
I'm quite happy to offer my services should you require of them. Equally,
you're a traveling minister.
of sorts.
Ah, I see. I see, and of course this is your assistant, pointing to Cora.
Actually, no. This is Ser Cora. She's a brave knight and an adventurer.
Of course. Of course, you've got your holy man, and you've got your bodyguard, and then you've got the and he looks it looks like he's struggling with words, and he gestures in the direction of Aiden
Friends.
and Eclipse, and goes, and you've got those you minister to.
We're tagging along.
Yeah.
We're tagging along.
Those in need of your
Eclipse is like vibrating at this point.
She's like that meme
She's
of like when you haven't talked about Duridan for like 2 minutes, and she's
She's
like
about to
right
drill a hole into the floor because of how badly she's vibrating.
Well, you only had your say, of course. Food and board, of course. And as long as you can stop your he gestures, goes, your charges from being too energetic around us. Like, they do have some fanciful tales. Then I don't think we'll have a problem.
That's all right. I'm pretty sure that
God-fearing folk here, you see. And so we would be we'd be much obliged if you didn't rile up the village, as it were. We're simple folk.
Go on, Rodrigo.
Yeah, Simon. Well, Nick, Will Farewell is talking to this villager, to this farmer. I want to roll perception because he was looking at his feet, and I feel like he's hiding something. I want to see if I can spot anything out of the usual in this farm.
Roll me a perception. You might not get what you think you'll get.
God damn you, Mercer, for nerfing my perception. 19.
You're in ink class now.
Yeah.
With the 19,
You need one of those.
there's two things you get. So first of all, you hear the rhythm in his voice without even doing a deception check that he's reciting.
Yeah, I thought so.
He's reciting a script. Yeah. Also, with 19, you do notice that a few of the pickers who are taking bulrushes from what seems to be like the downhill field, and it's clear that rushes have been growing here, so they just went with it. It's like, if we can't stop this from being over irrigated, we're just going to use it. And you can see that a lot of people just pulling bulrushes because they're useful, reeds. And you can see that they are clearly looking in your direction. You're odd compared to all these other guys. It's the Monty Python sketch of, oh, he must be a king. What was that? He's not covered in shit.
Yeah, we're not covered in shit.
Yeah. So they are looking in your direction, and you're kind of accustomed to that. But one thing you do notice is that in the direction of these pickers, the guy you're talking to has put that sign behind his back. So like that, as if to say, stay back.
Gotcha.
And as he's talking, it's subtle, almost well-practiced subtle, but you do see it.
I
Make a note of that. Make a mental note of that.
Whilst we're holding this conversation, I touch the badge and I'm cast it. I'll message Eclipse. and I will say to her that I'm pretty sure whatever artifacts we're going to hear has either some control or there is a cult here towards Juridan. Once we get inside, it might be a good time for you to disappear and do some hunting around. You know, that sneaky investigation stuff that you do very, very well. And then I turn back to the guy and I'm like, of course, I understand. I can guarantee you that at least 2 of my companions will treat you all with complete indifference. The third, well, she likes to travel and meet new people, and as such is just very excited about the new experiences. You know, most of her people are. So I assure you, it will only ever... He won't know what that means. Or it will set him off and he'll go frothing, raving mad. And I'm so...
But of course, sir, of course. I
did have one question for you, though. Sorry, I'm terribly sorry to interrupt.
Of course, Your Honor, no problem.
Word has reached me that you have a mausoleum here. An old one.
Now it all becomes clear, yes.
It's good for us to visit in time to time and give rites for the lady's moments of passing, especially through there. I make it a
you are going to be well received, sir. Well received. So yes, you're quite right. The center of Warrenford is rebuilt ruins. You see, ruins of not only the what did you call it? A mausoleum. We just calls it the chapel. So
I really thought he was going to say mausoleum. Then I was going to fucking die.
Disappointed.
We are trusting you. It's working.
We calls it the chapel, but yes, you're quite right. It is built on the site of a mausoleum, an unknown figure that we make sure is left to lay to rest. It doesn't go to digging up the past.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. I would very much like to get the tone of what I'm getting from this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big concern.
I'm getting some big intimate vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 23 for my insight.
I didn't get a huge. I got 12. So
22.
At a 12, he seems really confident. In fact, at a 12, you're just like, is this some sort of tourist pitch? So farewell. You are getting that he's laying it on too thick. He is giving the tourist pitch. To a certain extent, he's not lying in the specifics.
Lying sense.
Yeah,
but it's clear that the omission of information that he clearly knows is visible on his face. He's almost smugly giving you the information that he knows is true, whilst admitting all the stuff that isn't. He's confident with his conversational tactic at the moment.
Sure.
And so yes, we have pilgrims that come here from day to day. I'm descended from one of them. And so, many generations past. Hence the fact we've got such fine land here that basically from this field up to the farmhouse there is mine. And so if you want to go along, you would need to go and speak to the Bailey. That's Bailey.
The worst part is I know what that is now because I've been playing too much of that game.
Yep. You need to just go and speak to the Bailey, who also doubles up as our local preacher.
Sorry, you'll have to forgive me. A local quirk and a problem of traveling as much as I do. Bailey, a title or a name?
Oh, title.
Does the Bailey have a name?
Yes. Amos Bradley.
Amos Bradley. Thank you.
At which point someone looks at him and he goes, "Oh, Oh yes.
Amos
Sorry.
Bradley.
Sorry. That's really only what you'll find on his tax returns. We all call him Cloud.
Clown or cloud?
Cloud, like in the sky.
Clown.
Cloud, yeah. Okay.
Hi.
Simon.
Apologies. I don't have much of an ear for accents.
Simon, does the name Amos Bradley ring a bell
No,
to me? Okay.
no. Bradley's are everywhere. Amos,
Okay.
especially around here, is a very popular name.
Okay. Gotcha.
Basically,
Cloud is a bit of a weird nickname, but
He is John McPherson. Is basically what he's named.
pretty much, yeah.
Named, yeah.
Yeah.
John Doe was taken.
Yeah.
Yes, if you speak to the Bailey Cloud, he'll be able to furnish you with whatever you want. We do have a liking for fanciful names around here. Existed as long as the settlement itself. Pay it no mind. It's just nicknames, you understand. I've been told that they're much more creative than you'd find in most farming towns. After all, there was a guy that I knew. His name was Richard, but they all called it. No, I better not tell you that. It's ladies' presents. It's fine.
You won't surprise
Go
them.
speak to Bailey Cloud, and he'll be able to tell you.
I think by this point, I wanna I don't know if whisper or use message with Farewell.
You have a new
Yeah.
fancy badge.
Yeah.
Your badge will do it,
Yeah. I'll use message on Farewell, and I'm just gonna tell him he's giving us the runaround. I think we're wasting time. We should probably move on and see what we can find out by ourselves.
I agree. But I also want to know what the full extent of the story is, because if anybody was to ask us, at least we know what the dance is. I learned that much from Glory.
All right.
Now we know what what they want us to see. Now we know what to look for.
All right. Sure.
And I turn back to him and I smile and I go, "Thank you very much for your guidance. I very much appreciate that." And if we'll just head in, is there a place that we could stable our horses and our caravan at?
Yes. If you go and speak to Bell, he does the local. The local.
Please
It's
tell
only
me he's got
local.
2 L's. Otherwise, I'm just gonna let Glory nuke this place to the floor now.
It sounds like he's saying it with two L's. Bell. He's our taverner.
Bell.
Taverner Bell.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your help.
You're quite welcome, sir. And when you carry on with the caravan, he walks into the field. Pretty much simultaneously, all the pickers stop picking and start walking in his direction.
Oh,
Eerie.
fuck. Okay. All right. I open up. I
Call my
reach in.
home a cult.
What was the name of the Bailey again? Amos. I just forgot his last name.
Cloud.
Amos Bradley, but then
Amos
he
Bradley
corrected himself
Cloud.
quickly and said, "Call him Cloud."
Yeah,
Call
which
him
means
Cloud.
they give themselves new names. I reach
Gotcha.
in. I tap.
Which sounds like a tabaxi name.
Yes, that's
Yes,
that's
they
what I
sure
was thinking.
do.
I tap Eclipse on the shoulder. I cast Enhance Ability on her. I'm not going to give you the Dex one because you're already pretty
don't
damn
need
good at
that.
stealth. I
Yeah,
am going to
no.
give you Fox's Cunning, so you now have for the next hour advantage on all intelligence-based checks.
Ooh.
So
Go, run
Big
free.
Run free.
you have
Run
unlimited authority to just disappear and run crazy and come find us.
I
Yeah.
will sneak.
Okay.
Yes, it's time for you
And
to
I
Eclipse.
see.
assume that's
Eclipse.
next set of the session that I will do
Yes.
this me.
Yeah.
So, with that
you know
portent
what?
in place and the strange village of Warrenford available for you to find out what the hell is going on here, we're going to leave it there. So big thank you to everybody for watching. For Desir, Hermit, Seeking, thank you for the raid. For Six, thank you for joining us yet again, and the Albert of Sartre for the follow as well. We're going to do a quick raid, but time is moving on. Thank you very much, and we will see you on Monday for one of the last episodes of our pirate game. So one of them is drawing to a close as the Forsaken Skags, or the Forsaken and their Skags, are in the chamber with the Doctor.
And I really do recommend you go and see it. It's actually a really fun game to watch and get involved with. It's
got
fun.
elements that we are going to be building on for future games, where we're going to get our viewers involved. So we've had Stormfuse and Hermit in particular in pretty much every session. Oh, hello, Fuka. In every session, to the point where they ended up getting their own abilities, like Hermit Acid in the chat, which almost always misses. Oh, no, it hit.
Yay!
Oh, wow.
You've wasted the one good hit. You'll never get it hitting again.
Complete with chemistry puns. I burnt out all my chemistry puns on Hermit Acid. And then we've also got, Stormfuse Bag.
Yes.
Which I think is one of my proudest achievements on Nightbots so far. The Heavy Cup of Specific Stuff.
Heavy cup of specific disguise.
Yeah. That's a cup that can only be lifted by a character of strength 16 or higher. When
that is not Stormfuse, by the way.
And when a fluid is drunk from the cup, they turn into a specific disguise that is voted on by the chat.
Last time we got a
turtle.
Yes, old turtle.
An aging turtle. That's it. Yeah, in a fez, wasn't it?
In a fez.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
So, we're going to be doing that 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK time on Monday, and big fights and Cthulhu-esque horror will appear there.
We're meeting this doctor who seems to have turned himself into part robot, which is kind of cool in a D&D game, because it's definitely done using magic, but also technology. And Simon is creeping me the fuck out, because I can separate the two, but like Glory faced with like science is so confused and freaked out. Hence the Institute episodes.
Yep.
And I can't help but be the same with Eva, who's like a nature person.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we are going to raid a nice German streamer, Jane85, who originally I was watching for Subnautica. Really got me into Subnautica in a big way. We have got Jen out there, but we've raided her a few times, so let's mix it up a bit. So we'll go to credits, and we'll see you on Monday. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.